Excited about this build. It is for some very dear friends of ours, the Weisses. You might know them from YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I think they got a Twitch. They've become really good friends with us throughout the years. And one of the things they'd love to do is go all out for Halloween. So this guitar is gonna be Halloween themed, and they can put it up as a decoration with the rest of their Halloween stuff this year. I also want it to be just kind of a cool looking guitar that they could take out anytime they wanted, but I'm really putting an emphasis on the Halloween for this one because I know it's something they're totally all about. And I picked out a specific guitar shape that I think would go really well with this Halloween theme. As you can see, this box is way bigger than the last one. I think the last one was about half this size. This is a huge box, and it's time to open it up. The actual box that the guitar's in is a lot smaller. So if you were expecting a jumbo-sized guitar like me, you might be a little disappointed right now, but it's gonna be okay. I'm still excited about this guitar. Okay, this might be my favorite part of building these kit guitars, is opening them up. As I said before, this is a very Halloween-y style guitar. Oh, look how cool that is. That is cool. Totally different from the last guitar that I built. You can see the shape on that is really cool, very Halloween-y. Here is the neck of the guitar. It has a locking nut, totally different from the last one. Rosewood fretboard. So go together like this. Oh, so Halloween-y. One thing I should mention is there are no instructions. It's gonna be a challenge, but I'm up for it. This guitar has a tremolo system, which the last guitar I built did not have that. Basically what it is if you move this little arm, it's going to adjust the tension on the strings and make a cool sound. I'll show you with one of my other guitars. So, for example, if I go like this, and then move this arm, it's gonna change the sound. So listen to it without moving the arm. And here it is with the arm. But it's a slightly more complicated setup, and that's why on the last guitar I didn't do it, because it was my first guitar. And for this one, I'm just gonna go for it, and I'm actually going for it with a pretty intense system. It's called a Floyd Rose. I have never used one of these before, so I don't even know how they're supposed to be set up, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of research to make sure that this works well for them. So this will be a fun new component. Everything seems to be here. This body seems super well made. I'm really excited to get in here and sand it down, prime it, paint it, lacquer it. It's already looking really cool. And I think it's gonna look even cooler with a nice paint job. The first step on this guitar is to prep it for painting. So I gotta sand it down, I gotta seal it up, and I gotta mask it off. My goal for this guitar is to master the lacquer. I'm trying a new painting technique, and I'm also gonna really try and make it a nice high gloss finish at the end of it. My last guitar did not work out so well in that regard, so this is really the one where I'm gonna try and master that. I'm gonna be using a sanding sealer this time, so I gotta sand the whole body. And I'm gonna be doing the neck this time as well, so gotta sand everything down. All of the sanding is complete. I actually made a little holder for the neck out of a piece of scrap wood. That way I can hang it without it getting all messed up and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Now all I have to do is mask everything off so I can start painting it. I would like to say that I am very impressed with this sealer, the sanding sealer from Color Tone. Look at how nicely it went on. It's so pretty. It brought out the grain really nicely. It's all smooth and it just like very impressed. And the neck is over here. One advantage to mounting it onto this piece of wood is I can just set it up like this. I don't have to find some place to hang it. This guitar is modeled after a Warlock shaped guitar, and traditionally it kind of has this like 80s glam rock sort of look to it. I want to try and do something a little more subtle than the stark black and red. I would like to do a technique that I saw street painters do when I was on the streets of Rome. I wasn't like living on the streets of Rome, I saw them on the streets of Rome while I was walking on those streets. But what they would do is they would spray several different colors onto the surface of what they were painting, and then they'd take a piece of newspaper, slap it on it, pull it off real quick, and they'd get this really cool texture. And then what they would do is they'd take a plate, set that down, and then spray black all around that, and they'd end up with this beautiful moon. So I want to do a red Halloweeny moon right in the middle of this thing, but I don't know if it's gonna work. So what I did is I took two little panels like this, I sprayed the same spray on them, and one I left natural like this, and the other I painted white. And I'm gonna do a couple test runs and see if I can get that same texture that I saw the artists in Rome doing. With that experiment, I've decided that the white undercoat is definitely the way to go. The color ends up more vibrant, much clearer, better texture. It seems like you really only get one shot at this, which makes me a little nervous because it's, you know, the whole guitar. But I'm definitely gonna put a coat right where the moon is gonna go. The order in which I put the paint down also seemed to really matter. You couldn't see the red at all over the black, but if you put it under the black and then lifted the black up, you got a really cool look at the bottom. You can't even see that I did anything with the red on top of the black. So that's definitely the order to do it in. Now I think I know what I'm gonna do, and I think it's gonna look really cool. So here's where we are. It's a couple days later, and we've got a really light coat of white on here where the moon is gonna be. I think the placement looks pretty cool. Size of it's pretty cool. Now it's time to do the actual texture of the moon. I'm gonna hit it with a pretty heavy coat of cherry red, then put black gloss on top of it, then put newspaper on it, take it off real quick, and hopefully we get a cool pattern. Okay, there you go. That's the texture of the moon, hopefully. I won't really know exactly how it looks until I'm done with the whole project, but for now, we're gonna let that dry. While it's drying, I'm actually gonna put coats of red around the back and sides of the guitar and on the neck and headstock of the guitar. The reason I'm doing that is I just want a hint of red in this guitar around the outsides of it, and maybe on the back, I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna put all the red coats on first, let them dry completely, sand it all down, and then do the black. So that's kind of the game plan. This is one of those things where it's like, I don't know how it's gonna turn out till the end. I'm just kind of trusting my instincts and hoping that they're right. But I've been wrong before. All right, I want to say a couple things here. First off, I'm reading all of your comments. When you leave a comment, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And a lot of people commented on the last guitar that I built and gave me some really good suggestions on masking and different ways of using primer and all sorts of stuff. So thank you. All that's gonna go into use. I'm doing different techniques every single time. This one's no exception. First thing I want to say about this guitar and the way it's going right now is I love this paint. Look at this paint. The cherry red lacquer looks so good. It like the grain pops through it. It went on nice and even. It's got a little shine to it that'll buff into like really good shine. It's just beautiful. And then I did this to this side. you know. I have a plan with this guitar. I actually think that it's going in the right direction. Today is the day where we're probably going to see if it does or if it doesn't. But so far it looks like this on the back, pretty sweet. This on the front, kind of looks like a mess, but that's all right. At this point, I have a few decisions to make on how the rest of the guitar is gonna look. Originally, this side was gonna have a moon and be primarily black. The edges were gonna have the red, and then the back was gonna be black again, but I love this red color so much, I can't decide. I can't decide what to do with it. Same with the neck of the guitar. I can't decide what to do with it because originally it was gonna be mostly black with a little bit of red, but I love the red, so seems like I've gotta make some decisions. But first off, let's get that moon going. Okay, when I saw the street artists doing this in Rome, they would take a plate or like the lid of a paint can or something, they'd put it on here, then they'd spray a whole bunch, and they'd lift it up, and the whole group of people watching would be like, ah, because they didn't see what was the plan there. So hopefully we'll get the same sort of thing happening here. So if this works, just cheer from home, okay? One thing that I just kind of noticed is the plate is kind of lightweight that I'm using, and I blew on it and it sort of scooted along a little bit. I'm gonna have to weigh it down a little bit. Couple things you might have noticed as I was painting the neck and the guitar body. Things didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them, but I rolled with it. So, for example, I wanted the edges here to not have any overspray at all, and there was a lot of overspray. I could have masked that. That probably would have been the smarter thing to do. When I saw that that was happening, I wanted the red to still pop out a little bit, so I didn't go all the way to the edges like I had planned. I had planned on going all the way to the tips of this guitar with the black, and then having red edges, and when I saw it starting to spill over, I was like, okay, maybe that's not the guitar that I'm making. I'm kind of happy that it turned out this way. I kind of like it. It's got this like kind of Black Widow sort of like spidery look to it. And then the moon also didn't turn out exactly as I planned, but I still like it a lot. I think it looks really cool. That was one of the things when I was going into it, I realized that I wasn't gonna have as much control over it. It was gonna be whatever the newspaper did is what I got. I don't know, it turned out cool. I think it's better than how it would have been if I had meticulously tried to make it look exactly like the moon. And with the neck of the guitar, I was planning on the back of it being totally red and not having as much of a fade in, especially up at the top and down here below. But there were a couple spots that were a little darker than I had planned, like the spray can got it just a little too close or something like that. And so right here especially, there was like a streak. You could tell it was a spray paint can. The point I'm trying to make is, instead of getting frustrated with that element of it, what I did was just matched it with the rest of it. And so now, where it meets the guitar is gonna be darker, and then it gets lighter, and I kind of really like this look. Same thing happened up here. I had one spot that was just too much. It was too much black, so I evened it out across the whole thing and faded it in. So I just showed the guitar to my wife, Jessica, and she really liked it, but she asked where the stars were. And I wasn't planning on putting on stars, but she reminded me that they did put stars on all of the artwork out on the street in Rome. So now I'm conflicted, and I'm trying to figure out if I should put stars on this guitar or not. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna try a test again and see if I can get stars that look cool, or if it's just gonna look like I dripped onto the thing and it's a mistake. My goal is to make it not look like mistakes. Ooh. All right, I ended up doing the star thing. I think it looks cool. It looks really cool. It definitely sells that this is the moon when there's stars around it, or a planet, or some sort of celestial orb. One thing I want to point out is this is really a lesson of going with the flow. I had a vision in my head. It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, and I figured out how to adapt to how it looked. I feel like there's something to be said there for any art project or any project that you're working on. Even if it doesn't go exactly how you plan it, it can still turn out really cool. I actually really like the way the neck turned out, even though I got more black here and here than I thought I was gonna have. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like these videos, if you like learning about new stuff and art and all that stuff, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on the notifications so you get notified when I post new videos. I'm having a blast with this. I hope that you are too. I'm loving this Halloween guitar, and I hope I see you next time when I polish this all up, put the neck on, and see the whole guitar as one unit. I've not seen that yet, so I'm excited to check it out.